I am Jeffrey Daugherty, and you have found yourself at Unindoctrinate in the midnight hour, bringing you into your personal power. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, bringing the boom into your room because power, ladies and gentlemen, passion equals power, and power equals boom, and boom is what it takes to get you up, to get you active, and to get you doing your do, being your be, making a difference in your own life so you can make a difference in other people's life. We got to get you unindoctrinated. You got to get you unindoctrinated. I got to get you to where you want to get unindoctrinated and get you to where you know how to get unindoctrinated. And then you can get passionate. And then you can get that boom. Then you can change the world. And we can all live in a better place because of all of this great stuff. Now, folks, I want you to understand something. Unindoctrination, it's a very holistic discipline, cousins. What I mean by that is unindoctrination, and to unindoctrinate, that's something you got to do in your whole life. Unindoctrinate doesn't affect just one area of your life, or you're not unindoctrinated. Unindoctrination has to go throughout your entire life, all phases of your life, even your love life, cousins. Trust me. You got to unindoctrinate, all of you, or you're not unindoctrinated. That's just the way it goes. I'll try to explain to you what I mean. And I'm here as your humble servant. I am here as your humble servant, helping you unindoctrinate in all areas of your life. I even want you to be unindoctrinated in the shower, ladies and gentlemen. I'm serious. Because if you go to jeffreydaugherty.com and you click on the American flag Hero Soap logo, you can get some of the best high-quality soap made by veteran-owned, veteran-operated soap masters of soap, ladies and gentlemen. These are not amateurs of soap. These are masters of soap. Hero Soap, let freedom clean. And right now, ladies and gentlemen, if you're smelling a wonderful yet masculine, manly smell, that's me with the beautiful fragrance and very manly fragrance, or womanly, whichever one you are, it makes you more, of cool peppermint soap from my friends at Hero Soap, Let Freedom Clean. So I want you unindoctrinated even in the shower, ladies and gentlemen, even in the rub-a-dub-dub in your bathtub with your rubber ducky. I want you unindoctrinated because I want you unindoctrinated in all areas of your life. I have a question for you. Jeffrey Daugherty, Unindoctrinate. Visit the Christian Whistleblower YouTube channel and subscribe there. Can you be a little bit pregnant? No. Once you're pregnant all the way. And pregnancy, along with parenthood, I've never been pregnant, but I've been a parent. It changes your whole life. And not just for the 9 months that you're pregnant or the 9 months that your partner's pregnant. No. When you get pregnant, you get changed, and you get changed from that day forward because not only you're pregnant, then you're a parent. Never been pregnant, am a parent, understand, it never goes away. Never goes away. My youngest child is, do the math, 35, 31, minus 4, 27. Bible college graduate on the math major. But I'm still a parent. It doesn't go away, and you don't want it to go away. Sometimes it goes away more than you want. But anyway, being unindoctrinated is the same way. You can't be a little bit unindoctrinated. You just can't. Either you're unindoctrinated or you're not. And if you're not fully unindoctrinated, then you're not. Jeff, what in the heck are you talking about? You can't be sort of pregnant, and being unindoctrinated is the same. And the reason it's the same is because indoctrination is a virus. Indoctrination is something that will lay dormant Will it lay dormant or lie dormant? It'll lie dormant in your life unless it's completely and totally eradicated. And it will rear its ugly head. You might start down the road to being unindoctrinated, and then you'll find yourself back to being indoctrinated. And if that happens to you, it probably happened to you because you didn't really unindoctrinate in the first place. You left a little bit of that poison somewhere. You know, you get sick and they give you medicine, good medicine, not bad medicine. Maybe it's CBD, maybe it's stem cell. I don't know. You take that and you don't take it all. Oh, I'm feeling really good. And you still got half a bottle, you didn't take it all. There's a reason why they tell you to take it all. If you don't take all the red pills, you can slide back or slime back, as I was going to say, into the blue pill mentality. So, folks, if you're going to unindoctrinate, you got to unindoctrinate the whole route. And if you allow any indoctrination to stay in you, you will soon become indoctrinated again, and not just in that one area that you didn't clean up. Indoctrination is insidious. It's a virus. It's a habit. And you will become indoctrinated again across the board. It's a virus. You've got to completely and totally eradicate it. You know the old saying, a little dab will do you? That was from a hair care product. How you like mine? But in that case, a little dab will do you, but in the case of indoctrination, a little dab will do you in. A little dab will do you in, cousins. You can't afford a little dab of indoctrination. You can't afford a little dab of indoctrination. I'll say it one more time. You cannot afford a little dab of indoctrination. Because a little dab will do you in. A little dab, a little bit of indoctrination will work its way back through your life unless you eradicate it, and eradicate it from every single area of your life. Your religious life, your spiritual life. Are those different? Yes, they can be. Your political life, your financial life, your cultural life, your love life. You have to unindoctrinate and eradicate indoctrination from all those areas of your life. And that's what we're going to be doing in the midnight hour, cousins, with each other, Monday through Friday. Unindoctrinate at a accelerated rate. That's what we're here for. And once you unindoctrinate, well, then you can help others come to the place where they can indoctrinate. Once you've been indoctrinated, you can become an unindoctrinator. Once you've been unindoctrinated, you can become an unindoctrinator. And that's what we're here for, cousins. So I want to talk to you about unindoctrination in all areas of your life. And can I get into your business a little bit? Let's talk about unindoctrination in your religious life right now. A lot of you that listen, now I'm going to speak to my Roman Catholic friends right now, my Roman Catholic Church friends. Let me talk to you a little bit. To my Roman Catholic friends that are still going to Roman Catholic Church, that are still showing up for Mass, that are still, giving money, that are still supporting the church, can I ask you to consider why you're still doing that? You've got a church where pedophilia among the priesthood is pandemic. It's probably, according to their numbers, they admit it's 25%-ish. Folks, if they admit that, it's probably double that. Folks, I was 20 years a minister. I've been on the inside. I've been behind the curtain. And I'm telling you that pedophilia is rampant within the Roman Catholic priesthood. And I ask you, if you're trying to unindoctrinate yourself, how long can you abide, support an environment where pedophilia is so rampant within the priesthood and the leadership? They've been talking for years about doing something, and so far they've done nothing. Can I suggest to you that you go on strike and let your priests know you're going on strike? Let the cardinal, the Monsignor. Hell, let the Pope know. I'm going on strike. I'm not going to Mass. I'm not going to confession. I'm not going to any services. I'm not going to give any money until I see the church working in a very vociferous, passionate manner to address the horror of pedophilia among the priesthood. Go on strike. Go on strike. Let them know. Can I suggest to you that you consider doing that? And can I talk to my Roman Protestant friends for a moment? Those of you that are still in the Roman Protestant churches, guess what? Pedophilia is just as bad an issue within the Roman Protestant churches as it is in the Roman Catholic churches. Folks, it's the midnight hour. There's a reason why it's called the missionary position. Why? Because Protestant missionaries are famous for going into foreign lands and screwing the girls, sometimes the boys, when they're supposed to be preaching to them. There's a reason why it's called the missionary position. And guess what? It doesn't just happen in the mission field. It happens in your backyard, and it might even be happening in your house. Be careful. So why, again, I ask you, are you still paying your tithes, still giving your offerings, still showing up? Why? You are supporting a ministry that is at least 10, 20, I would say from being there for 20 years, over half of Protestant ministers are involved in some type of sexual impropriety. Pedophilia is a huge issue in the Protestant church. Don't think it's not. The roosters are coming home to roost. The chickens are coming home to roost. You're seeing sign after sign, story after story, bust after bust of Protestant ministers involved in pedophilia and sexual abuse of people that go to the churches. Be like your Catholic friends. Be like the Catholic people that have the integrity to say, look, we're going to go on strike. Go on strike. Tell your preacher you're going on strike. If you're in one of those churches that has a denomination, tell the local administration you're going on strike. Tell the national administration you're going on strike. Go on strike until they take drastic, radical measures to address sexual abuse within the clergy. Go on strike. What does that do? That unindoctrinates you religiously. That lets you draw a line in the proverbial sand that says, I'm not going to be a part of supporting anything that does violence to children, that does violence to women, that does violence to young people. Not going to be a part of it. That allows you to unindoctrinate yourself religiously. And then that bleeds into your spiritual life, where you begin to draw lines where you're not going to allow things to happen of a spiritual nature that have nothing to do with religiosity. And you know what, folks? Well, Jeff, that's a little radical. Well, I believe it was Martin Niemöller. It might have been the other guy that was involved there. That there's two famous ones. One is Martin Niemöller, and the other one is, I can't remember his name. But one of them said that when I was in Nazi Germany, at first they came for the gypsies. I wasn't a gypsy, so I didn't worry about it. Then they came for the Jehovah's Witnesses. Wasn't one of them, didn't care about it. Then they came for the homosexuals. Wasn't one of them, didn't care about it. Then they came for the Jews. I wasn't a Jew, so I didn't care about it. Then they came for me, and there was nobody left to resist. And the bottom line to that is, all that is required for evil men to flourish, all that is required for evil women to flourish, is for good men and good women to stand by and do nothing. And as long as you stand by and do nothing, my Roman Catholic friends, evil will flourish within your church. As long as you stand by and do nothing, my Roman Protestant friends, evil will flourish in your church. And I'm going to make a heavy statement here, and you will bear some of the moral responsibility for it, because you supported the system that perpetrated and allowed the evil to continue. You need to unindoctrinate yourself. You need to get rid of this virus from you And I'm suggesting a strike as the very first course of action for you in spiritual unindoctrination. And I've got another suggestion for you. We talked about being conformists instead of being creators. And I'm going to say some tough things here to you. And I'm going to bring out some tough points for you. But I think that, well, I'm just going to say them, and you deal with them what you do with them, what you will, and deal with them how you may. Do you know that the New Testament was written by the one world government? Do you know that the New Testament was written by the New World Order? Folks, understand that the New Testament was written in Judea when it was under Roman military control. This is unindoctrinating. It was written when it was under Roman military control. They were under military occupation from the Roman Empire. And when you're under military indoctrination from the Roman Empire, when you were in that day, everything that you distributed that was written, if you sent a letter to your mom, if you sent letters to churches, if you passed and distributed literature, guess what? There was a dude called a censor. It's where we get our word censorship from. And he read every single word that was printed and distributed by a subject people. And he had to edit it, vet it, and approve it before it could be distributed. Think of that, cousins. Think of that, ladies and gentlemen. The New Testament, every word of it was edited by the Roman government, one world government, new world order, one world religion. They edited it. They vetted it. Okay, this is okay with us. And they allowed it to be published. The New Testament is Roman edited, vetted, and approved. The New Testament was written by the Roman Empire, the New World Order, the one world government. And I am astounded by the people in what is called the truth movement, but I wonder if it really is. And what is called being woke, but I wonder if they really are. I don't talk about being woke anymore. I don't talk about being awake. I don't talk about being in the truth movement. I talk about being unindoctrinated. I'm in the unindoctrination movement. I'm in the unindoctrination genre. I'm not awake. I'm not a truther. I'm unindoctrinated. And it just blows my mind that people that can claim that they're truthers, quote unquote, they can claim that they are conspiracy scientists, quote unquote. They can claim that they're woke. They can understand about 9/11 being an inside job. They can understand about the Fed enslaving us financially. They can understand about the NSA and the CIA. They can understand about the secret space program. They can understand about the alien agenda, but they can't bring themselves to even subject to investigation a document written by the Roman Empire because they've been told, they've been indoctrinated that it's the word of God to man. Where are your investigative skills, Mr. UFologist, when it comes to a New Testament written by the Roman Empire? Where are your investigative skills, Sasquatch hunter, ghost hunter, psychic? Where are your investigative skills, investigative journalist that's breaking these things? How can you not investigate a book that claims to be written from God, every jot, every tittle, every line, but every single jot, tittle, and line was edited, vetted, approved by the Roman Empire? Don't you think you should look at that? Consider that. And not only that, ladies and gentlemen, that was in the 1st century. Bring it down to the 17th century, early in the 17th century. Along comes a guy named King James, who is a proven homosexual, a proven pedophile. Now, I only mention the homosexual thing because most of you that believe in the New Testament would be very, very adverse to the concept of homosexuality. And all of you should be adverse to the concept of pedophilia. King James, known pedophile, King James, known homosexual, takes the book written, edited, vetted, and approved by the Roman Empire, the one world government, the New World Order of that day. And King James and his merry men, see what I did with that? They take the New Testament. They edit it. They vet it. They approve it. So your New Testament is not only produced by one New World Order, but two. Your New Testament is produced by not only one world government, but two. And did you notice it was the government? It's the authorized King James Version. He was the king. He was the dude in charge. He was the president. Those of you in the United States, it would be like reading the Donald J. Trump authorized version. Some of you are screaming right now and pulling your hair out over such a concept. It'd be like reading the Barack Hussein Obama authorized version of the Bible. The rest of you are pulling out your hair, screaming, yelling. You wouldn't accept either one of those. And yet, those of you that are brilliant researchers, those of you that ask questions, those of you that claim to be unindoctrinated, you're still thoroughly, completely, totally indoctrinated and unable to subject the New Testament, written by two New World Orders, written by two one world governments. You can't seem to bring yourself to the ability to subject the New Testament to the same research and to the same fine-tooth comb that you do all the other parts of what you call the fear of the matrix. You know why? Because you're not unindoctrinated. You're still indoctrinated. There's still a virus in you. Don't tell me you're unindoctrinated until you have research, till you've subjected the New Testament to the same standards of research that you subject all the other subjects that you claim to research. Wow, what about that, cousins? Are you really unindoctrinated? I question it, frankly. I question it from a lot of you. And with our last few remaining moments, I've been asked to talk about something that for some reason there's just a crazy amount of misinformation out there. I recently moved from Florida to Kansas, the American heartland, coming to you from an undisclosed location. And when I went to change my driver's license from Florida to Kansas, I went up there and I said, here's my Florida license. Here's a bill that shows where I live. Give me my Kansas license. And they said, sorry, we can't do that. We've got this new thing rolled out by the Trump administration that's called Real ID. Okay. We need to see your passport, your birth certificate. We need to see two forms that prove your residency. We need to see your Social Security card. And we need to see your former license from your former state in order to give you an ID within the state of Kansas. And at first I was a little ticked because I didn't bring all that stuff with me. I walked out, I started complaining about it. And then I started thinking, why am I complaining? It was indoctrination that was creeping back into my mind. What am I complaining about? We've got tons of illegal immigrants pouring in from the southern border, some of them criminals, some of them diseased, some of them very nice people that just won't wait in line and follow the law. And they're pouring in. And they're getting driver's licenses. And they're voting before they're citizens. I don't mind if you used to live somewhere else, but before you can vote here, you need to at least be a citizen here. And I started realizing that building a wall is very expensive. And as you can see from the efforts of President Trump, very hard to do. And then I realized Real ID is a wall. Real ID is a virtual wall. All Real ID does is make sure that you are a legal resident of the United States of America. And make sure that you have a real address, that you really have shown where you were born. I don't know if Barack Obama can get a real ID. It's called a rim shot, by the way. A real ID is not an infringement upon your rights. A real ID is not governmental overreach. A real ID is brilliant. Real ID is brilliant. All it does is make sure that everybody that has a driver's license in the United States is a legal citizen of the United States. That's a good thing. All a real ID does is make sure that everybody that gets on an airplane is a real citizen, has a place that they live and receive mail, that has a verified identification. That's a good thing. And call me a prophet, because it's coming. If it's not in 2020, certainly by 2024, if you don't have your real ID, you won't be able to vote. It's soon coming where you won't be able to get on an airplane. So instead of crying and whining and complaining, these are good things, ladies and gentlemen. It's better than a wall, cheaper than a wall, and it makes accountable us all. Do I consider it bad for me to have to show that I actually have an address and I live in the United States of America? No, I'm happy to do so. Do I feel bad that I had to prove that I was born in the United States? No, I'm happy to do it. Because if I'm going to use the privilege of driving, if I'm going to be eligible for the benefits of being a citizen of the United States, I think it's great to prove that you're a resident of the United States. So all of the fear mongers and the fear porners and the people that are still indoctrinated that don't know that they're indoctrinated, real ID is a good thing, cousins. Ladies and gentlemen, you've got to find your passion. Ladies and gentlemen, you got to work your ass off once you do. Ladies and gentlemen, you're here to change the world. And you do that by unindoctrinating yourself thoroughly and then becoming an unindoctrinator. And don't worry about real ID. It's a great thing. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty. This has been Unindoctrinate. Go to the Christian Whistleblower on YouTube. Subscribe there, please, if you will. We'll be here Monday through Friday following Rocky Stucci's Situation Room. Ladies and gentlemen, history is written by the winners. Let's go ahead and win, because we're the last generation of real humans. We are the gospel truth army, and we can win this thing if we just get busy.